Well, I guess we can continue to sing the praises of Hugh Freeze.
Stop it. Get some help.
Another addition in the spring transfer portal to talk about, the first of a nice little wave of additions. Let's talk about who that is and what it means for Auburn football. War Eagle, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Kyle here at E2C Network, where we share the whole Auburn experience. As you're watching or listening today, be sure to drop a comment down below about this particular topic. We'd love to hear your thoughts as we're sharing ours. We do want to mention our friends at Alumni Hall, who we just became an affiliate partner with. Please help support us by supporting them. And since this is a football related video, it stands to reason that we should show you one of their awesome items they have that are related to Auburn football, specifically this one, which just got marked down for a limited time from $20 all the way down to $12.98. Take advantage of this now to increase your arsenal for Auburn football game days. Check this item out and their full site at the link at the very top of our description in this video. The question continues to be asked, are we done yet in relation to the transfer portal for Auburn football? At least in the spring edition, are we done yet? The answer continues to be no, at least for this cycle and this group of individuals that we're going to be talking about. The first of which, in a very short time span, is your new transfer edge from Liberty University, Steven Sings V. He comes to us as a junior with 2 years of eligibility still to use here at the Auburn Tigers. As it stands in this cycle so far, at the time of his commitment, he was the 7th overall transfer portal guy in the spring edition, but also the 19th overall that the Auburn Tigers have taken as a transfer. Now let's talk about the timeline of events that brought us to the point of his commitment. We got to go way back to the summer of 2019 when originally he was committed to Virginia Tech. This goes to show you that you shouldn't just dismiss this guy since he's coming from a non-Power 5 school like Liberty. He had Power 5 interest for him early on. He did decommit from Virginia Tech and eventually went over to be with the Liberty Flames, spent the next 3 seasons with them, but then entered the transfer portal of this year on April 21st. Auburn got him in finally for a visit, and very quickly after that, we were able to seal the deal with him. Now that you know how he got here, let's talk about some things that you need to know about what this particular player is bringing to the table at Auburn football. Originally, he played for Zebulon B. Vance High School in Charlotte, North Carolina. Coming out of high school, he was considered a 3-star prospect, and that seems to have maintained over as a transfer prospect as well. He currently is listed measurable-wise at 255 pounds, 6'3". Now, depending on who you talk to, you might list him as an edge, you might list him as a defensive end, some have even put him as a linebacker. At Liberty, he was considered a weak side defensive end. For depth reasons and for what he's likely going to play at Auburn, we're just going to call him an edge, which is what most people consider him at this point. Let's mention a few stats to further paint the picture for you what he's bringing to the table at Auburn, and you can see here from ESPN down below right now some of the stats that you can reference. We're going to look at his last season specifically at Liberty, where you'll see that he had 13 total tackles, 9 of those were solo, 4 of those were assists. He had 3 pass deflections, but also in his final season had his best sack season with 3.5 total. So some good statistics that he's going to be able to add to that depth piece at the edge or jack position for Auburn. A few storylines around his commitment. You probably picked up on it, being the first that we've had from Liberty. It also makes the first that Hugh Freeze has brought over with him since he left Liberty to come to Auburn. Now, he's brought coaches over, obviously, but the first player that he's brought with him. His position coach, Josh Aldridge, will also be here. So you got to think that's going to help him in the transition to still have his head coach and his position coach still with him, even transferring schools. But the other cool thing is what I like about the edge position overall, or the jack position, is how Auburn is increasing their experience level for some of the younger guys that are at that position coming in. It's going to really help with that transition. Now that you know about the player, let's talk about what it means for Auburn football. We'll start with the numbers for this class. As of this particular commitment, it was 39 commits, including transfers and traditional high school recruits. It also makes it 22 defensive commits and the 5th at the edge position, if that's where he ends up playing, which is most likely. Now let's talk about what his playing opportunities might be when he arrives on campus. How is he going to help Auburn? We look at that edge position and the depth that may or may not be there. First of all, the people that have left are very formidable names: Derek Hall, Iku Leota, and also Dylan Brooks entered the transfer portal and has left Auburn, which was a big shock to a lot of us, if we're honest. Which basically, outside of switching some people's positions who are currently on the roster, the cupboard completely bare there. So it's a complete rehaul. But now you've got names including those of Elijah McAllister, Brenton Williams, Keldrick Falk, and even Jalen McLeod, who just came in the spring too. Add this one on top of that, you can really see that there's going to be ample opportunities to earn either starting time or just significant playing time, and I expect with his experience, he's going to do that. We do want to talk a little bit about where he comes from in terms of creating pipelines in our recruiting processes, and he comes from the state of North Carolina. This is actually the second one overall in this class that Auburn has brought in. The other being Avery Jones, the center, a much needed position that we filled there. So that's a big get as well. But North Carolina is not really a state that Auburn dips into a whole lot, but it's not unheard of, not uncommon for us to get a handful of help from the state. And lastly, what does this commitment mean for this class, but specifically at this particular position? And as we address, the edge position, or the jack position as it'll be called now, was basically barren until you brought in all 5 of these guys. And that's what the number will look like, approximately 5 guys, give or take some people maybe switching positions, but that's what you have now. And that feels like a pretty good number given the experience level with 3 of those guys and the new names like Brenton Williams and Keldrick Falk learning and still earning some playing time. I got to think that while we can never say we're done, you feel like you pretty well addressed your needs here. So that's my thoughts on Steven Sings V. Would love to know your thoughts about this brand new transfer in the comments section below. Be sure to do that so you can be part of that subscriber giveaway, and being subscribed is part of that process, so make sure you take care of that too. As always, check out those links in the description for ways that you can support Alumni Hall, but also us here at E2C Network, where we share the whole Auburn experience. War Eagle.